We have a brand. New York has a brand. And when people see it, it means something. You know, when we go there, it's not, Kansas doesn't have a brand. When you go there, okay, you're from Kansas. No. Well, you know what? But New York has a brand.
So you heard it. Eric Adams says New York has a brand. And when you go there, you know they have a brand. It's not Kansas City. You go to Kansas City, there's no brand. New York has the brand. Well, the brand this past weekend was nothing more than chaos, riots, thousands of young people running wild because a YouTube and Twitch streamer named Kai Cenat made a social media post that he was going to be giving away PS5s, and the city went nuts. But first, part of Eric Adams' brand seems to be homeless migrants sleeping on the streets waiting because they're seeking asylum.
I'm a reporter in New York City, and this is what I'm covering this Monday morning. I took this video at around 4:30 this morning outside the Roosevelt Hotel in Manhattan on 45th Street. This is actually on 46th Street, but I'm just showing on this side to show the line of migrants that are sleeping on the sidewalk.
So that's just a quick clip of some of the many, I want to say the thousands of illegal migrants who have flocked to New York City or who have been bused to New York City from other states, because New York City is a sanctuary city and New York is a sanctuary state. Governor Hochul will tell you that, and Mayor Eric Adams will tell you that. But in the next breath, he'll tell you they have no more room for them. Well, they asked for this, and this is what they got. Homeless migrants now sleeping on the streets because they've given them all the available rooms that they had, so now they have nowhere to go. But it's everybody else's fault, but it's not Eric Adams' fault, and it's not Kathy Hochul's fault. It's everybody else's for busing them there because they're coming through the southern borders into states that are not sanctuary states. But that's really not the main brand that I want to talk about today for Eric Adams. It's the brand of rioting. It's the brand of unruly people. And it's the brand of social media sensations doing something so, I can't even think of a word for it other than so irresponsible that this person, Kai Cenat, who apparently has millions of Twitch stream followers and YouTube followers, and quite frankly, I've never heard of him until this story came out. But he made a post on social media saying he was going to be giving away PS5s in Union Square on a certain day. At first, only about 300 people showed up, but then, of course, Cenat, being such a social media superstar, his post went viral, and then the chaos began. And that was just a tip of the iceberg to what really happened. Now, I know the PS5s are apparently hard to come by when new ones come out. I heard there's like a waiting list. You have to sign up for it, so you're guaranteed to get one. But when someone like this Cenat person is saying he's going to give some away, all these young people want them, because quite frankly, that's all these young people do today. Is they play video games, and of course they want one for free. Why should I work and go buy it when someone will give it to me? And when they can't get one, they get angry and the destruction begins. The police were notified, the police moved in, and quite frankly, the police were outnumbered. There were thousands of people running wild in Union Square, using construction equipment as weapons against the police, throwing bottles at the police, and destroying everything in their way.
Update from the NYPD, and here's what we know tonight. According to police, Kai Cenat will be charged with multiple counts, including at least 2 counts of inciting a riot and unlawful assembly. At least 3 officers were injured and 65 people have been arrested. We have live team coverage tonight. Stephanie Bertini is taking a look at all that damage done to the neighborhood and businesses. But let's start with Teresa Priolo live in Union Square with the latest from police. Teresa.
Yeah, Natasha, Union Square is back to normal tonight, as you can see behind me, and that is remarkable considering what unfolded here just a few short hours ago. What began as basically a pop-up giveaway by a celebrity YouTuber devolved into a massive riot involving teenagers and kids.
It became a total mayhem. We were like huddled behind a tree because people started running and there was really no which way for us to go.
What started as a peaceful PlayStation giveaway in Union Square by the wildly popular Twitch and YouTube star Kai Cenat devolved into this pandemonium, the likes of which we don't usually see even in New York City.
Very big riot. It was just out of control. It was just a whole movie, mad people, a lot of mad chaos.
The NYPD got wind of the event around 12:30. At that time, only about 300 people were here. For a long time, it was peaceful. But then Cenat's post went viral. Thousands flooded Union Square, and when Cenat showed up, chaos ensued.
This event grew exponentially, rapidly, fast. And again, this is the power of social media.
According to the NYPD, once Union Square was wall-to-wall kids, there was no stopping the destruction. Subway service was suspended in the area. Streets were shut down. Construction equipment was used as weapons. Bottles were hurled. Some thought they heard gunshots. Turns out it was firecrackers. It was riotous conduct verging on illegal and dangerous behavior.
Young people destroyed our vehicles. My car's destroyed. Commissioner Daughtry's car is destroyed. Other police vehicles are destroyed. They destroyed food carts. They destroyed stores. When we started clearing the young people out here, young people ran through the streets of this city, taking plates off people who are outside dining, throwing their plates at police officers.
Cenat has yet to make a formal statement on any of his social channels. He's still being questioned by the NYPD, who say charges are forthcoming. He's a kid from the Bronx who made it big during the pandemic, reaching the kind of fandom rarely experienced by even some of the biggest celebrities and entertainers in the world.
So in a nutshell, it was an out-of-control scene by a group of young people who wanted something for free. And that's one of the biggest problems we see today. People do not want to work. We see it in Chicago when they gather in large mobs to loot or cause damage and destroy property. Their woke mayor says, you can't call them a mob. It's a large gathering. But in New York City, you heard the officer say, they destroyed police cars. They destroyed personal property, cars belonging to whoever. They ran through the streets unruly. People were dining outside and they were stealing the food that was sitting on the table in front of them. Who is going to pay for all this damage? And what, if anything, is Eric Adams going to do about it? Now, I don't blame the mayor, although he is one of the wokest politicians that I have ever talked about. But it's not his fault that a social media superstar decided to have a pop-up giveaway in the city without any knowledge of the police, of officials. They knew nothing. They didn't know until it started happening and they were called in. Now, you also heard the reporter say that fireworks went off and people thought it was gunshots. Now, what would have happened if the police responded in a way where they thought they had a shooter and someone got shot? What would happen? The riot would have still been going on because it would have been a police officer involved in shooting somebody during an absolute pandemonium, and that police officer would have been in trouble, most likely arrested and put on trial for shooting somebody. This is the problem in these blue, woke, liberal cities and states. They allow people to run wild and no consequences follow. They say Sanat's going to be charged with unlawful assembly and blah, 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 whatever else they say. And apparently this person has a lot of money, so I'm going to just assume that he's going to pay a lot of money to get out of trouble. And what happens to those who've been arrested for this? Remember, it's New York. The either low bail or no bail prosecution in New York, they're going to go in, they're going to get a slap on the wrist, and they're going to walk back out on the streets. And I do not blame, again, the majority of those young people, because they are a culture, they are a part of this culture, especially in New York. There are no jobs, there are no programs. All New York seems to care about lately is illegal migrants. That's all Eric Adams cares about. He doesn't care about his own citizens. He makes that quite clear every time he speaks. But then he complains that they ran out of money, they have no more room, and what am I going to do with all these people? Shame on you, Texas. Shame on you, Arizona, for sending these people to me. Well, you signed up for this. When you declared that you welcome everybody, you are a sanctuary state in a sanctuary city, so everybody come. Now, I don't know that a lot of those young people are illegal migrants. I don't know that, and I don't pretend I do. Most likely, they're all residents of New York City who basically had nothing more to do, so this Sanat character was going to give away PS5s. So they all went down there, and it turned into nothing more than a destructive riot. And as it turns out, when Sanat arrived, you saw it in the video clip, they were jumping all over his SUV. He never got out. They got out of there as fast as they could, and he gave away nothing. So what does that leave us? It leaves us destroyed property, assaults on police officers, and young people arrested because they were acting like fools. If they just went there and assembled and let this person show up. Now, this Sanat character had to think that thousands of people were going to come if he's that popular. So was he really going to give away thousands of PS5s? I don't know. Where were they coming from? All you saw was him in a black SUV. I think he was in that SUV. I didn't see any big tractor trailers following him full of PS5s. So was he really going to give away as many PS5s as he could to all of those people, or was he going to give away a few? I guess we'll never know. But again, they're going to press charges against him, and it's probably going to go nowhere, and maybe he'll have to pay for some of the damage. But there's no excuse for these young people to gather that way and automatically turn it into a violent gathering, a mob scene, destroying police vehicles, fighting with the police, throwing bottles at the police. What sense does that make? It makes zero sense. But that is the young people of today in areas like this where basically they have nothing. The politicians in these areas do not care about the young people. Oh, they say they do. They'll go on the campaign trail and no, we're going to do this. We're going to have this program. We're going to have summer jobs. They do nothing. So when somebody wants to give away an expensive gaming console, oh, they're going to come all right. And you saw that. They came in large numbers. This wokeness that we're dealing with in 2023 needs to stop. They always preach the kids aren't bad. Well, I'm not saying all the kids are bad. Some of them are, and some of them aren't. But if you have a small group of people starting to destroy property, don't you think others are going to get involved just to fit in? Because they really don't have anything else to do. So blame this celebrity Kai Cenat, make him pay a pretty penny to fix all the damage, make him pay for the destroyed police vehicles, and the destroyed private property vehicles or whatever. This nonsense that we deal with today is nothing more than a failure of our democratic leaders who preach that they care so much about everybody when in fact they do not. And once again, Eric Adams cares nothing about the people who live in that city. It costs a fortune for an apartment that's probably 700 square feet. But he wants to take care of the illegal migrants because they deserve it. But what about the people that have been living in New York City for 30 years? Don't they deserve it? The woke Democrats of today don't believe so. So I don't think it's ever going to change. So maybe, hopefully, this Kai Cenat will use his head next time he decides to have a pop-up giveaway. Because maybe he'll realize, oh, no, you know what, this is going to turn bad, just like it did in New York City. Stop this social media influencer crap. And I give all the credit to that kid in the world. Again, I don't know who he is. He went on social media. He started doing his thing. He started making a lot of money. And now he's a big celebrity. I applaud that. Good for him. But do it the right way. If you want to give your followers things, do it another way. Don't expect thousands of people to show up and be peaceful while they wait to see you. Because in today's day and age, that's never going to happen. There's always going to be a problem. And that's it. So thanks for tuning in. If you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. You'll never miss an episode. Share this video with someone. I'd appreciate that. Hope everybody's healthy and safe. And I'll see you real soon. Have a great night.